Hello everyone and welcome back to Shelter 2. And we are here with Fox and his 3 kittens. We are still in the area by the den, and it's the middle of winter here. So far things have, things were a lot better last episode than they were before, but things have been pretty difficult. We've had a lot of predators showing up, and we actually already lost one of the kittens. Actually, in the first episode with Fox, it was very, very tragic. But we still have the others. So far, so good. We have, let's see if I can remember them all. It's been a little bit. We have the male is Tundra, and then the red female is Sienna. The Tundra is the white one, and then the dark one, oh goodness, what's her name now? Nyx. Nyx is her name. So I actually know all their names for once. That's a little bit uncommon for me. I'm not very good with remembering their names. But so far it is a pretty quiet, and I think there's actually like no music right now. That scares me a little bit, but I think we're all right. This is the den right here, and we need to try and find some prey. I think, did I go the opposite way of the prey? I seem to recall having finally found some. Oh no, they're right down here. Okay, and we should be all right if we can just catch them. There's quite a few light-colored ones, which means they're going to be difficult to catch. Okay, oh, they're on the run already. The dark-colored ones are usually easier. Okay, there's one here. Oh, we're gonna see if we can get it. He's still running. If we can catch up to him, I'm not sure we're gonna be able to, though. Oh, come on. I don't think we're gonna make it. No, we're not gonna make it. Okay, we gotta get back to where the other one is, then. And quickly, before something bad happens. So we left him up on the hill. Okay, there's others right here. We should be able to maybe catch one of them. It's so hard to see the lighter ones in the snow. We were very lucky to catch the one we did. But we gotta get these guys fed, because otherwise we're gonna have a problem on our hands. But we've had so many predators showing up. We've had probably 3 or 4 foxes just in these first few episodes. It's been absolutely crazy. Okay, here we go. There we go. Got another one. All right. And there was one further back. Where is... Okay, everyone's here. There's actually... Okay, yeah. They all are here. I, for a second, didn't quite see Tundra. Uh-oh. Where... Oh, right there. Right ahead. Just as I'm talking about them. Unfortunately, Fox seems rather cursed by his namesake. Okay, let's stay still. If we lay down, I think... Oh, we scared him. Okay. We've got to just stay crouched until we actually lay down here. And I think if we can do that, we'll be able to try and catch him. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to crouch, and we should actually lay down if we stay still long enough. And you guys are telling me that is the best way to catch the foxes. There we go. If you stay laying down, and then at the last possible second... Oh, no, he still runs, though. You have to time it absolutely perfectly. Otherwise, he'll bolt. All right, come on. These guys will feed all of them if we find one. If we can catch him, though. There we go, we got him. That they will feed all the kittens, and that's a very, very good thing. So I think we're going to eat a little bit. Oh, will you let us eat? Here we go. Let us eat, please. Let us eat. There we go. To try and refill our stamina, because they did just eat. And then, but we'll let them eat as well to make sure that they can get a nice bit of food. I love the idle animations in this, how like you have the little grooming bit there. That's really, really cool. It adds a great amount of depth to this game. Now, we did leave another rabbit up on this hill here, so I want to see if we can go find that. And hopefully we'll be able to. Hopefully it won't have just kind of vanished. Because I think it was one of the white ones, and they could really just disappear into the snow here. It's very difficult to spot them, which, of course, is to their advantage. I mean, if they're trying to hide from predators, it works well to blend into the environment. That's an important thing. It's interesting because the different colorations do show up differently in the different seasons. And so definitely the white ones will blend in a lot more in the winter, and the brown ones in other seasons. It should be almost springtime, though. Oop, we spooked a rabbit. Oh, they must see it already. It's up here somewhere. But yeah, it is going to be almost springtime. Probably any minute now it'll be changing. It can't be that much longer. So let's see if we can get this, and then there's some more down here. So we're playing on the harder difficulty, the survival mode, which does mean that the prey will migrate, so we have to be careful not to stay in one spot for too long, otherwise the prey will start to leave, so we have to be kind of cautious about that. But for the most part, everything still seems to be all right, and none of the prey has actually left permanently. So a little lynx there is going to end up being quite large, perhaps, because she seems to be getting food whenever we feed either of the ones on the sides. So, Nyx is benefiting from both times, I think. Oh, there's... Okay, we're not going to catch any of them. I'm not even going to try for them. Oh, here we go. Nature changes, time passes, strength grows, and bone stretches. Living is hard. So that means these guys are about to, well, not completely grow up, but they're going to enter their sub-adult phase, and so they'll be quite a bit larger, and you can see the snow is melting. So they will be young adults now, and they are actually a year old. It's been a full year since they were born, and they'll be nearing their adult stage. So in probably next episode they'll head out. Usually it takes us about 4 episodes to get through. Why is it so dark? Okay, it just, I think, was a little bit cloudy at the moment. I thought we had the fog already, because the fog can show up here at the den. There is a rabbit. The good thing about these guys is they'll be able to start catching their own food sometime in the near future. Oh, what a tricky bunny. Okay, that was really close. Come on. Oh, he's not going to be worth it, is he? All right. There we go. And, oh, I missed him. But we can let them eat. They should eat. We should be able to recover our stamina, and that'll be all right. Now, is that a collectible I see over there? We're still finding quite a few collectibles, believe it or not, even though we've been playing this game now for 3 seasons, and we're on, I believe, is this our... We normally get through about 5 litters, so we're now on, I think, like 13 or 12 or 13, probably. Our 12th or 13th litter. We'll go ahead and eat this, because I want to recover some stamina, and they just ate, so we don't have to worry about feeding them just yet. It will be a little bit harder, though, because this phase is both easier and more difficult in many ways. It's easier because they can actually help you catch the prey, but the hard part is that if one of them were to start to starve and to have to lay down, then you can't actually carry them. With the cubs, you can still pick them up and carry them, but these guys, now that they're a little older, are too big to carry, and so it can make things a little bit more dangerous. I do think that means, though, that they'll no longer have to worry about predators like foxes or the eagles, though, so that part at least is nice. Let's see if we can catch some of these rabbits. They're the light-colored ones, so they don't blend in quite as much. We just gotta get really close and then sprint for it, and they're running right under the trees. Alright, there's one. I'm gonna try for this other one. Oh, there's a darker one, too. Alright, can we circle him? Yeah, we can. Okay, I'm gonna run back this way because we already used up most of our stamina, I think. So we're not gonna get past the midpoint anyway. And, I think that's just them moving through the brush. I thought for a second we did have another fox, but I've never actually seen a fox come at this stage, so I think they're no longer able to catch the kittens, which is a very, very good thing, because we've had so much trouble with the foxes up until this point. Poor Fox, I think his name has his namesake has proved to be his downfall in the end. But at least 3 of the kittens are still here, so that's a good thing. Fox is a little uncommon in that he is a male lynx raising a litter. That is not the typical way things happen, and it's really not what normally happens in real life. In real life, as far as I know, we don't have a documented case of a male lynx raising kittens. It's always the female. Normally, the male lynx will leave and have no part in raising the kittens, and it'll just be the mother, and the kittens will go their own way. But because this is a story, this is our imagination, we can say that this maybe happened this once, and it might not be necessarily the way things usually happen, but it's not to say, sometimes It's not to say it could never happen. I think it would be highly unlikely that it would actually happen in real life, though. Okay, come over here, please. Why is the color changing so much? That concerns me. I'm just not used to this area, though. But yeah, I think if it ever did happen in real life, it would be highly unlikely, and the circumstances would have to be extremely specific. So because this is fiction, though, we can kind of take a few liberties and sometimes stretch the boundaries of what usually does happen. I'm not really able to find... Whoa! Nice job! Nice job, Sienna! Wow. I'm not... Oh, nice! Oh my goodness, Tundra, too. I'm not usually able to, or I haven't actually been able to find much info on what would happen if a male lynx were to encounter his cubs in real life. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of you guys have said, and this is probably what I'd have to agree with, is that the father lynx could actually be a threat even to his own kittens. That is the case with many species. I believe it's the case with bears. I think it can be the case with a lot of other species as well. It's the case with cougars that, since the female will go her own way with the kittens after they're born and the male has no part in it, that he could actually be a danger to them. So I believe that would be what would happen in most cases, is that they probably would have to be really careful to avoid even the father, because he could potentially be hostile to them and perhaps would even attack the kittens. So things are not always they're not as nice and fluffy in nature as we sometimes like to picture them. It is the harsh truth that sometimes things can be very, very brutal and dangerous. And this game, for the most part, does actually show that fairly well. Did you guys... Oh, you found a vole. Nice job, Tundra. Tundra is really doing well with the hunting. But this game does show the harshness of nature pretty well in most cases. Maybe not even completely, because I imagine that lynx cubs would have a very low survival rate. There's a reason that a lot of them are born. The eventual goal is for one of them to survive, and in most cases where you have an animal that has several offspring, that's because the chances of all of them that are surviving are quite low. And so by having more offspring, that does increase the chance of at least one of them making it to adulthood and passing on its genes. That's why when you have an animal like a rabbit, it will have so many offspring, because not only are they already in a naturally difficult environment, but they're also a prey animal, so that adds on to it. But with lynxes that eventually will become predators and have to hunt other animals, they don't have quite as many, but they still have a large number. 4 is a fairly large number, because a lot of them just don't make it to adulthood. And so even when we have seen this game, how most cases, like, we've had probably a majority of litters, we've had all the babies survive. That's highly unlikely to be accurate or realistic statistics. So while this definitely does show that nature can be very harsh, and we've seen even in this, we've already lost one of the kittens, it still probably is a more optimistic picture than what you'd end up seeing in real life. So we sometimes do stretch the bounds of what you might see in actuality for the sake of the story. And I mean, if the game was so difficult to the point where you only ever had a few that would survive, then it would get to the point where, from a gameplay standpoint, it would be just too frustrating to continue. I'm actually going to eat this one, and I'm going to let the others eat that one. Hopefully Tundra... Oh, Tundra, here. Tundra, come eat the rest of this. Tundra is the one who didn't get to eat, I think. Kind of ironic, because he seems to be the best hunter so far. But, yeah. So, because this, even from just the gameplay standpoint, you can't expect to replicate those statistics, but what you can do is show to the best of your ability that life in the wild is very hard. And it's not as... A lot of the time, I think nature gets romanticized, and we have to be careful not to do that, because, yeah, there is a lot of beauty in nature, but we also have to appreciate the struggle of it as well, and the fact that it's, you know, it's not necessarily this overly romanticized picture that we can have of it, where, oh, it's the cute animals running around. It can be very harsh sometimes. And that's why I do like these games quite a bit, because I think they show a good balance of that, of showing that, yes, it can be harsh, but that's not to say it's without hope. And I mean, isn't that just life? Sometimes life is hard, but we can make it through it. So anyway, I've kind of gone on a bit there. But yeah, I really do like to see games like Shelter 2 or like Wolf Quest or Untamed that reflect that reality where, yes, it is hard, but it celebrates not only, it doesn't necessarily always, it shows both the struggle and it also shows the hope in that struggle. I really find a lot of beauty in that, and I'm glad to be able to share that with you guys. So anyway, hopefully these guys will make it safely to adulthood. They don't have that much further that they have to go. They are almost grown up at this point, almost able to survive on their own. I think we're going to eat this rabbit to try and gain a little extra stamina because they just ate, and we'll continue to hunt elsewhere and see if we can find some more rabbits maybe down this way, and just to see how if we can find anything down here. And hopefully these guys will be alright. Ooh, a little bit of camera craziness there. Hopefully these guys will do okay. They don't have much time left before they grow up, and they should be alright. And then once this litter ends, you guys will be voting, actually probably next episode, as to which of them you want to follow, which of the 3 survivors you would like to see us track in our next litter here. Alright, so there's one rabbit. I'm gonna give it to these guys. No, here, stand still please. I'm gonna give it to these 2, and then we'll get another one for Tundra. Oh, there's a vole. I wonder if we can catch this vole, because that would work for Tundra as well. Oh no, we missed it. Oh, he made it to his hole again, darn it. Oh, there's a rabbit right there though. If we can get this guy, we'll give this one to Tundra. And I mean, hard as it is to say, it's a little bit easier with only 3, because there's not quite as much pressure to feed all of them. So like we were able to eat a little bit of one of the rabbits that we then gave the rest to Tundra and still kept him fed, but we couldn't do that if we had all of them. So sometimes as the numbers dwindle, it does make things a little bit easier, and that is another harsh reality of nature. It's kind of terrible to say, but it can help ensure that the others survive. And that's, nature has a lot of beauty in the way it's set up, in the way that it works. It's got a lot of, it's very complicated, and it's what's the word for it? How would you say it? It's very well organized. There's a lot of order to it. So it works in absolutely amazing ways, in that it's basically designed so that animals have stability and are able to continue. If you look at the whole principle of survival of the fittest, it's that the animals that would cause the species to struggle, perhaps like those that maybe are more sickly, that would have potential genes that could cause the species to weaken, tend to be the ones that will not make it, whereas the ones that are strong, that will enable the survival of the species, are the ones that will survive. And it's the way it's put together like that, the way that it works, basically is set up to ensure its longevity. It's basically, it's set up to continue. It's designed to continue. And I just think that's really honestly incredible. It's the way it works is literally keeping itself healthy. And you can see in an ecosystem, okay, we really need to find food for these guys. They're starting to get hungry, I think. But you can see in the way that an ecosystem works that it's set up to continue its own stability. Predators tend to take down the weaker prey, which then ensures that any potential weaker genetics are not the ones that are going to be passed on. They're not the ones that could end up causing a species as a whole to weaken. The ones that are strong are going to be the ones that will be surviving and ensuring the persistence of the species. And it basically, because if predators took down the strong, healthy individuals, then you'd end up with a very sickly species that would basically head towards its own demise. with the way it's set up here, in the way that it works, you don't see that. You see the animals that survive are going to be the ones that will enable the species as a whole to persist, and that's something that's a huge blessing about mankind. We're going to wrap up in a moment here, but I just like to talk about this here. That's something that's a huge blessing with mankind, is that we don't quite have to live by that system. We have the ability to have a society that's not dependent on only the strong can belong. It's not dependent on, like, we have the ability to, we're not quite, we've got our civilization. We're not quite the same as nature in that we don't have to just live by any sign of weakness gets destroyed. We can live in such a way that anyone has the chance, whether it's not survival of the fittest. It shouldn't be survival of the fittest. That's what makes man different. It's not this brutal predator and prey. It's not this fierce competition just to live. That's part of what sets us apart, really, is that our society is not dependent on only the strongest are the ones who carry on. Anyone, no matter who they are, has the chance to go on in our society, and that's I believe that's the way it should be. No matter our strengths or our weaknesses, everyone has a chance, and that's honestly something that's so incredible to me. We'll go on a little bit further here because I missed the save point, and we'll make this a little bit of a long episode. But yeah, it's kind of just an interesting thing that I've always found fascinating about nature and about man. Some interesting things that I've observed about them. Okay, there's a rabbit up there. We're gonna try and catch that rabbit. In autumn, when the hills are yellow and red, the cubs are called to follow the path of solitude. So we're actually really close to the end. We may end up having a pretty short episode next time here, because it is actually almost time for these guys to head off on their own. It won't be that much longer. Okay, he went this way. We can catch him, I think, still. There's some nice flowers over here. Have I ever seen these flowers? The cool thing about Shelter 2, too, is that there's a lot of, there's a lot to the world. There's always more to find. There's always going to be these little places that you haven't seen, because, like, okay, maybe we've come through here in winter, but we maybe haven't necessarily come through it in summer. There's a lot of exploration and a lot of depth to this world, and the way it's so dynamic and it changes by the seasons, that's something that's absolutely just awesome about this game. It's one of the reasons that I really love this game. Oh, he's already running. Okay, we should be able to get him, though. All right, there we go. Alrighty, and this one will be for Tundra. Tundra is a little bit hungry at the moment. I try and keep just an order to feed them so that I actually know what I'm doing, and I had a lot more trouble in the beginning when I didn't do that, but they always line up the same way, and so if you always feed the same one on the same side, then that will enable you to be able to kind of keep track of things just a little bit better, and to know, okay, I already fed this one, but these are going to be the ones who need feeding more at this time. So that's just something that has been helpful. A lot of you guys I've seen pointing that out in the early episodes are, Jay, why didn't you do that? Well, I didn't know about it at the time, and now I do, and it definitely does help quite a bit. So we'll head off into the flowers here. It'll probably give us another save point pretty soon here, and when it does, we'll wrap up the episode. That's the one pet peeve that I have about Shelter 2, is that it doesn't actually let you save the game. That and the fact that you can have multiple saves, but it doesn't actually let you save the game on your own terms. You have to wait for a save point, and so that's a little bit irritating. But other than those 2 points, honestly, this game is just amazingly... There's very few parts of this game that I dislike. Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode here for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.